Hi, I hope all of you are fine. So, today in this topic, we will discuss why the technology has not revolutionized warfare in Ukraine and technology role in warfare. So, as this channel is about technology, so we will discuss technology usage in warfare and what is its application in recent warfare in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is being waged with the host of advanced technology from remotely operated drones to space-based surveillance, precision weapon, hypersonic missiles, handle jammers, artificial intelligence, network communication, and more. Many are good at this array, transforming warfare with omnipresent surveillance, combining with newly lethal weapons to make legacy systems such as the tank obsolete and to make traditional methods such as large-scale offensive action impractical. As the military enlist David Johnson has put it, what I believe we are witnessing is a pivotal moment in military history, the reascendance of the defense as the decisive form of war. Drones, artificial intelligence, and rapid adaptation of commercial technology in Ukraine are creating a genuine military revolution. According to military strategist T.X. Hammers, former global chief executive and Pentagon advisor Eric Shemid has argued that Ukraine is showing that the future of war will be dictated and waged by drone. But in many ways, this war seems quite familiar. It features foot soldiers slugging through muddy trenches in scene that looks more like World War One than Star War. Its battleground are littered with minefields that resemble those from World War Two and feature monoscape of shell hole that could be mistaken from Flanders in 1917. Conventional artillery has fired millions of unguided shells, so many as to strain the production capacity of the industrial bases in Russia and the West. Images of code writer developing military software accompany a sense of factory floors, turning over mass conventional munition that lack only rise the riveter to pause for damage from 1943. This raises the question of how different this war truly is. How can such cutting edge technology coexist with such echoes of the distant past? The answer is that although the tools in Ukraine are sometimes new, the results they produce are mostly not. Armies adapt to new threats and the countermeasures that both sides have adopted in Ukraine have dramatically reduced the net effect of new weapon and equipment, resulting in a war that in many ways looks more like a conflict from the past than one from an imagined high-tech future. US defense planners should understand that the war in Ukraine does not portend a revolution in military affair of the kind that has often been predicted but somehow never quite arrives. Policymakers and analysts should closely study what is happening on the ground in Ukraine, but they should not expect they find it to produce transformational changes in US military strategy. Instead, as has often been the case in the past, the best path forward will involve incremental adaptation, not tectonic shift. Heavy lessons on way to assess the net result of the use of new weapons in Ukraine is to look at the casualty they have been inflicted. Those who see a military revolution in Ukraine usually argue that new surveillance techniques such as coupling drones with precision weapons have made the modern battlefield radically more lethal. Yet the realized lethality as opposed to the potential lethality of Russian and Ukraine weapon in this war is little different from that seen in previous war and in some cases it is actually lower. Consider for example tank loss. Many revolutionists see heavy tank casualty in Ukraine as the key indicator for the tank looming obsolescence in the face of newly lethal precision anti-tank weapon. And tank losses in Ukraine have certainly been heavy. Russia and Ukraine have each lost more than half the tanks with which they entered the war. At the time of the invasion, Russia has about 3,400 tanks in active service, but in the first 350 days of the war, it has lost somewhere between 1688, the number verified photographically by the open source organization OYX, and 3253, the number claimed by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, for a loss rate of somewhere between 50% and 96%. Ukraine fielded about 900 tanks at the time of the invasion and lost at least 4,959. The figure in the first 350 days for a loss rate of at least 51%. Both countries have either built or been given additional vehicles as replacement. Russia especially has extensive reserve of older vehicles that have been pressed into the service. Damaged tanks can sometimes be repaired and returned to battle, so even though thermal fleet in the field have thus not shrunk massively, it is clear that many tanks have been lost in battle. Yet these are not usually heavy losses rate for major warfare in just 4 days during the Battle of Amiens in 1980. The United Kingdom lost 98% of the tank it had when the fighting began. In 1943, the loss rate for German tank was 113%. Germany lost more tanks than it owned at the beginning of the year. In 1944, Germany lost 122% of the tank with which it started the year. The Soviet Union lost a rate for tank in 1943 and 1944 were nearly as high as 109% and 80% respectively. And in a single battle in Normandy Operation Goodwood in July 1944, the United Kingdom lost more than 30% of all its armor on the continent in just 3 days of fighting. Few, however, argued that the tank was obsolete in 1918 or 1944. So, this is about the tanks and the technologies in war in Ukraine. I hope you would like it. Like, share, and subscribe the channel.